The smartphone marketplace has been terrible this year. Almost all the big brands have cut back on how much they make. This is because the number of smartphones shipped all over the world has gone down. Still, companies that make smartphones will keep making them. They will just cut down on the number of units made. This, though, means that the companies that make smartphones must be at the top of their game. To get more people to buy, they need to come up with new ideas and offer appealing features. The most recent renders of the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra were just shown by Techno Concept. When Samsung stopped making the Galaxy Note phones, the S Ultra slowly turned into a Note. The S Ultra now has the S Pen Stylus, which is one of the things that makes the Note series stand out. From what I can see in the photos, the front of the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra has a curved screen with small black borders. This smartphone has a very high screen-to-body ratio because the edges are so thin. Ice Universe, a famous Samsung leaker, said in a tweet that the main camera on the Galaxy S23 Ultra will be a monster at 200 megapixels. This is a rumor that has been around since the beginning of the S22 rumors. The company that made the camera says that it will be tuned for several years. We don't know if this means that Samsung plans to keep improving the camera over time with software updates, or if the 200 megapixel sensor will be improved after the S23 Ultra comes out. Recent reports say that Samsung is working on a second generation 200 megapixel sensor that will be used in the S23 if everything goes well. This makes the camera rumors more likely to be true. Another source says that Samsung might choose the older ISOCELL HP1 sensor instead of the ISOCELL HP3 from the second generation. Samsung has posted a video of the 200 megapixel HP1 camera sensor in action, taking a picture of a cat, then blowing it up to fit a 28 by 22 meter canvas draped over the side of a building. If you want to see what this sensor can do, check it out. It's hard to tell for sure from a YouTube video and not from seeing the image in person, but it looked like something special. It looks like each cat hair is picked out in the details. Even the cameras on some of the best phones might not be as good because they only have a few megapixels. Samsung's video suggests that a 200 megapixel main camera could be the key to getting better photos with a Galaxy phone. Galaxy Club says that both the Galaxy S23 and S23 Plus will have a front-facing camera with 12 megapixels. That would be the first time either model's resolution has gone up since the Samsung Galaxy S10 came out in 2019. It's not clear what other improvements could be made or if this claim is true. Still, since the front camera on the Galaxy S22 Ultra is 40 megapixels, it's about time Samsung upgraded the two cheaper models. On the cheaper models, there will be no changes to the telephoto camera. The Galaxy S23 and S23 Plus will also have a 10 megapixel telephoto camera. This doesn't mean that the zoom camera won't get any other changes, but if the resolution sensor stays the same, it seems unlikely that nothing will change. So far, we've heard different things about the processor in the Galaxy S23. A few weeks ago, a source said that some Galaxy S23 phones from Samsung would have chips made by MediaTek. Some people, including me, were scared by this. Even though we've heard that the MediaTek Dimensity 9000 is a very good chip, we're not sure because MediaTek has a bad track record. But when the rumor made the news, another source shot it down. Yogesh Brar has a good track record, and he said that the Galaxy S23 and Galaxy S22 FE would not work with MediaTek in the future. Since then, we've heard that Samsung will stop making Exynos chips for 2 years to make room for a new Galaxy-only chipset that will come out in 2025. This fits with Samsung's plan to use other chipsets, like those made by MediaTek, instead of its current partner, Qualcomm. Nothing here is a sure thing, but Samsung may still want to improve its Exynos brand. We'd like to see this because the Exynos 2200 didn't live up to our hopes, coming in behind the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 in our benchmark test of the Galaxy S22 Plus. The only other thing we know is that Samsung may call the Galaxy S23 Project Diamond inside the company. Some people used to think that this codename was for a third foldable, but DSCC analyst Ross Young says that this is not the case. Since Samsung took a long time to announce some details about the Galaxy S23, here's what we hope to see: more time between charges. All three versions of the Galaxy S22 have bad battery life. Even with its 5,000 mAh battery, the Galaxy S22 Ultra couldn't beat phones like the OnePlus 10 Pro or iPhone 13 Pro Max in the battery life test done by Tom's Guide. The battery life of the mid-range Galaxy A53 is also not very good. Samsung needs to make batteries that last longer. The decision to make the Galaxy S22's battery smaller at 3,700 mAh instead of 4,000 mAh and the Galaxy S22 Plus's battery smaller at 4,500 mAh instead of 4,800 mAh was a bad one that hurt both phones in testing. Better cooling. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chip gets very hot, which is not a secret. This slows down the game, especially in hard games. Samsung was also caught slowing down several apps on purpose to keep the system running well. Some people thought this move was unethical or even bad, but it did show that the Galaxy S22 needed better cooling. From what I've seen, the OnePlus 10 Pro's innovative way of cooling makes it much more comfortable to use for long gaming sessions than the Galaxy S22 Ultra. We don't think the S22 will be as good as the best gaming phones, but it can get very hot. We like the Galaxy S23 to fix this problem, Exynos or Snapdragon or better. Qualcomm has a near monopoly on Android phones in some parts of the world, and we all agree that it should end. The best Android phones are the ones that have Snapdragon chips. In some ways, Apple Silicon is still much better than Samsung's Exynos CPUs, but in many others, Qualcomm is ahead. We all had high hopes for a top-of-the-line Exynos 2200, which had graphics powered by AMD, but the chip let us down in the end. Samsung needs to figure out why Exynos chips aren't as fast as Snapdragons or stop using Exynos platforms altogether. One problem with telephoto lenses on smartphones is that they can only use the full optical zoom or digital zoom to fill in the gaps. Rumors about the Galaxy S22 Ultra said that it would have a feature called continuous zoom, which would make it easy for the phone to go from 1x to 10x and everywhere in between. We'd like Samsung to put this on all three versions of the Galaxy S23, but we think it'll only be on the Ultra if it ever comes out. Improved model differentiation. Let's be honest, the Galaxy S22 and S22 Plus aren't very exciting. They look the same as their predecessors and only have a few extra features. The most important change was better nightography for pictures taken in low light. But it was clear that all of Samsung's efforts went toward the most expensive Galaxy. Even though this makes sense, we'd like the Galaxy S23 and Galaxy S23 Plus to get more than just small improvements each time. Whether it's a new design, better cameras, or display refresh rates that really drop to 10 Hz, because the Galaxy S22 and Galaxy S22 Plus did have a minimum 48 Hz, not the 10 Hz Samsung said they did at first. Samsung has a lot of work to do to keep up with the competition. We just don't want the Galaxy S23 and S23 Plus to get boring. On the other hand, the Galaxy S23 Ultra should be anything but boring. Rotate Moon, a vice president at Samsung, says that the Ultra will be back for the S23 line and won't be phased out anytime soon. That was all that we had to convey in this video. If you liked it, please make sure to give us a big thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more interesting content.